season with all these games we have to play?
Yeah, I think we did a great job. You got to give our management credit. Going past a lot of credit for putting a good team together and keeping most of the guys here because in Tibbs' new system, we're all pretty familiar with it. And going into a season that's shortened, especially with the long break that we had, I think the teams that have more familiarity with their system will have a little bit of a head start.
Carlos, it's going to be a grind for everybody,
yeah.
But now that you've seen the schedule and it's out, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, let's go. Because, this is pretty much all games. Either we're playing every day or every other day. And it's going to be a fast-paced season. We're going to have to learn and grow during games as the games go on. And that's going to be an exciting challenge for every team, but we're looking forward to it.
Tom talked last week about needing to balance practice time with rest time, maybe having more walkthroughs, things like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that...
Yeah, Tibbs is great at that. He was great at it last year, balancing out the long 3-hour practices and the hour-and-a-half brain sessions. So I think we'll have a good mix of that this year.
For you, playing in games, is that, obviously technically it's harder on your body, but does the very idea of back-to-back-to-back, seem crazy or 5 out of 7?
I think we, all of us have kind of heard about it. It happened in '99. We all pretty much came into the season knowing we're going to have back-to-back-to-backs, a lot of back-to-backs, and a lot of games. So, honestly, just let's be honest. To have the season, no matter how many games we have to play in a row, it's worth it than being at home sitting down watching. So it's better to be out playing no matter how many we have to play.
Carlos, what do you think about? You've been around. What can we expect as far as quality of play, given some
I think it'll be good. I think a lot of guys worked out this summer. You saw off the tours, a lot of guys were playing different all-star games, different charity games. Guys were staying active. We had a lot of players go overseas to Europe and different places, and they're all, to stay in shape, and they're all coming back. So I think the quality will be good. I think it'll be great towards the middle of the season, but I still think the quality will be great, especially the Christmas games. All really good teams, all playoff teams, and the Warriors are, just as talented as anybody else. So it should be good.
What's it been like during the off season? What have you been doing since the season ended?
A lot, First, I was wrestling the toe, like I told Casey. Getting the toe healthy was a big deal, and then during that time, I was kind of spending time with the family. And then after my toe felt much better, I started cranking up my workouts. And during that time, I pretty much just hit the bike and, lifting and stuff like that. But then after my toe got better, I cranked up my workouts, my basketball. I was watching tape, trying to improve on the things that I didn't do so well last year to get better at. And then working on my game. So my regimen pretty much after about 5-6 weeks of wrestling was all about improvement.
When you look back, did the toe limit you even more than... everybody's heard of turf toe, but nobody probably takes it quite as seriously as they should when it hasn't happened yet.
I think the turf toe limited me, but at the same time, I did the best I could with it. Worry about it, later. I'm not worried about it now, moving forward, and looking forward to a new year, and I'm excited.
Do you think you guys need to add another piece in order to win the season?
That's not my job, man. That's up to management. I believe in the team that we have in the locker room. I don't know how many guys we have signed, and that's not my area. But I know whoever we put out there will be ready to play.
You talked about looking at film and going back at last year, some of the things you didn't do so well. What did you see?
Well, a lot of things.
Perspective and go sit down. What are your goals?
I was able to look at some of the things that I didn't do well and go in the gym and work on them and be better for this year. And I'll leave it broad like that. But this year I just want to play better D. Be more efficient offensively, be a better leader, better teammate, and do whatever it takes for our team to win. Like our model is whatever it takes. Let's win.
You said
Hold on, do you have any questions? No. I just want to, bring him into the group. Bring y'all into the group. Okay.
My person
You
agrees.
had said, Casey, that criticism was okay, but then you used the word haters, which kind of suggests maybe it bothered you a little more.
And criticism is all how you take it, and that's more of a younger generation term. So don't worry about it too much. That's kind of our slang. But just at the end of the day, some people take criticism the wrong way. I take it as motivation, but I told Casey, criticism motivates you. That's the way I've been my whole career, and I'm very motivated, to say the least.
Do you guys have enough to beat Miami as currently constructed?
I think so. I think the experience of losing to them last year and watching the tape of how we lost to them, we were in every game, and we lost them. But we were in every game and had chances to win those games. So do I believe we can beat them with the group? Yeah, I do. And but do I think management's going to do everything they can to make us the best team possible? Yeah, that's what they do. They've done a great job so far, and they put great pieces on this team, from Luau to D Rose to Joaquin to Taj to everybody that's here, and including Coach Tibbs. So we're ready to go.
There aren't moral victories, obviously, especially in pro sports. But do you look at that series? You say you're in every game, and you didn't play up to your level. Joaquin didn't play up to his level. Even Derek struggled a little bit in that series. So, I mean, does that give you confidence? That you
Well, I mean, that's last year.
Right.
Look, if you could go back in a time machine and go back and play it again, then yeah, but you can't. You got to remember, we've grown, they've grown too. I'm sure from their experiences and their losses that they've had, and that's history. But all we can do now is take what we learned from that series and take what we learned from the playoffs in general, and use the right way, use the criticism to grow, use the failure to grow. And you look at the team, the Bulls in the history, all those wars they had with Detroit, and then they finally broke through. Pac talked to us about it at the end of last season, all the wars that they had with Detroit before they finally broke through and beat the Lakers. I mean, that's how you grow. You go through defeats and you learn from your mistakes and you become better. And you let those mistakes motivate you, and you do what you do good. You do that better, and then your shortcomings or the mistakes that you make, you get better at those and make those your strengths, and then you become a better team. And that was our goal. So, obviously, like I told you before, we had to put the work on the court. But we do have a lot of guys that were here from last year, and that'll help a lot. And we got a great little rookie. I just met him in there, Jimmy. He's works his butt off, man, and I was impressed with his workout. So I'm excited, man. You guys should be excited too.
But guys, we'll be here all year. I'll see you guys in 2 more days.